Hey guys, Nishquick here. So, it's been about a month or so since that amazing Nintendo Direct, where we got the first look at the teaser for the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 story expansion, or Wave 4 of the expansion pass. And I just wanted to present my thoughts on why I think this is a really big deal for not only the Xenoblade Chronicles series, but for Nintendo as a whole. So if you enjoy Xenoblade, if you enjoy Nintendo content, if you enjoy analysis, reviews, all that awesome stuff, keep it locked in here on Nish Quick Pops. I'm trying to hit 500 subscribers before the release of Nintendo's biggest game this year, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And I just wanted to wholeheartedly thank you all for the amazing support the last couple of weeks, the last couple of months. So what makes me say this, Xenoblade 3, this DLC is a huge deal. The reason I'm saying this, hear me out here, I don't see a lot of people talking about this. And I'm talking about outside of the Xenoblade fan base. Like, of course, all the Xenoblade fans are all over the place for this. But I will say this, there have been a lot of post-Nintendo Direct discussions that I have listened to, whether it be on YouTube, podcasts on Spotify, or just generally talking to friends online, Discord, or even in person. Honestly, from what I have seen and experienced and heard, the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 discussion is just, it's not as much there. You know, everyone's talking about the GBA expansion pass. Everyone's talking about Pikmin 4. Everyone's talking about Tears of the Kingdom, obviously. Pikmin 4, Tears of the Kingdom are huge deals. NSO is a huge deal. And I will tell you why I think this is a little weird to me. First of all, you are getting, like, the biggest Xenoblade characters returning back in this DLC. This is what every Xenoblade fan wanted, and which every Xenoblade fan, I'm sure, is happy about. But Shulk is recognizable, Rex is recognizable. This is awesome. It's kind of like if a Tears of the Kingdom trailer happened and you see, like, Toon Link and Tetra or something. I'm trying to give sort of a point of comparison here. These are very big Xenoblade characters returning for Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Of course, many people may not know who Alvis is, but just the gravity of the situation itself is pretty big. And I also want to remind you guys about this. Do you guys remember Torna the Golden Country? Do you guys remember that 2018 DLC that released almost a year after Xenoblade Chronicles 2? Well, I wasn't around to play Torna the Golden Country when it released. I played it a year and a half ago after I beat Xenoblade Chronicles 2 for the first time. I'm sort of late to the party, but my point is, I see Torna the Golden Country as its own game. Torna took me about 15 to 20 hours to beat, and it has a beginning, middle, end. It has its own characters, it has its own customization, it has its own systems, its own unique battle system, which is separate from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. New characters, new story, new environments, new location, new music on top of that as well. All of that is new. And it was its own 15 to 20 hour game, and I consider Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torna the Golden Country as its own separate game outside of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And even when I rank the Xenoblade games, I rank Torna separate from Xenoblade 2. I just want to read this quote from Genki Yokota, who is part of the Entertainment Planning and Development Department, Production Group Number 2. He's always involved in a lot of Nintendo properties and Nintendo games, especially Fire Emblem and Xenoblade, and of course many others. This is something to consider after you have played this game, but we are offering an additional expansion pass. We'll be adding a new story at the end of the expansion pass, and we are thinking of making its volume of content as large as Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torna the Golden Country. We hope that people who enjoyed that content, as well as newcomers, will pick it up. It will be quite a high volume of content that will not let you down. Mr. Ko Kojima, who is a producer and director at Monolith Soft, along with Mr. Tetsuya Takahashi himself, says, I have not been able to participate in the development of the expansion pass, but the content looks like a lot of fun as I've been watching from the sidelines, so I'm a little jealous. I hope you look forward to it. And one last thing, the interviewer asks, finally, I would like to ask Yokota-san a question. You mentioned that this title is the culmination of the series, but I'm right to assume that the Xenoblade Chronicles series will still go on. Yokota says, yes, it will still go on. I want to keep it going as long as possible. Takahashi himself has this quick quote. He says, we have talked about this title in terms of being a culmination, closure, or summary, but it has been approximately 15 years since we began development on the Xenoblade Chronicles series. I feel like that this game represents everything we have done so far and is filled with answers to all our questions. At the same time, we have taken on a variety of new challenges in this work. I believe that we will be able to implicitly share a glimpse of what Monolith Soft wants to achieve in the future. I think imagining what Monolith Soft's future games will look like while playing this title would be another way to enjoy it. So let's think about all the stuff that we heard here in this little interview with Monolith Soft and Nintendo. So what I can gather from this is basically that this DLC is going to be just like Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It is separate from all the other waves. It is a story expansion or a story DLC wave, but it will be its own kind of game experience. It will be its own game, and it'll be roughly around 15 to 20 hours, if not more. And a lot of these developers are really excited for what's coming. So I think this is going to be huge. And with the magnitude of Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Xenoblade 3 is the biggest game in the series. Takahashi himself said in another interview about 5 times the size of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 itself. So think about that comparison. And think about how much content was added for Xenoblade 2. And think about the advancements in Switch technology, Switch optimization, Monolith Soft talent and skill, and think about what they can do for the story DLC of 3. Well, we saw Gower Plains by Honest Leg. Maybe that's not it. Maybe we will actually see Cadencia region before it was destroyed. Maybe we will see more of the Asia region, more of Capricorn Peak, and all these other places that we didn't really see much of in the base game of Xenoblade Chronicles 3. But the final thing that I want to talk about and emphasize is Takahashi is really emphasizing that once we get this whole package of Xenoblade 3 under our belt, once we consume all of this amazing Xenoblade goodness, we're gonna understand what the future of Xenoblade looks like. And that to me is the most exciting thing ever. Xenoblade is one of Nintendo's biggest, most important, and most content-rich and very well put together franchises. This third installment of this Klaus saga is bringing everything to a close, but I also am very curious to see what comes in the future. I'm really curious how this story DLC is going to do that, maybe in terms of a tease for Xenoblade 4, or maybe something even beyond that. So I'm really looking forward to this Xenoblade 3 DLC, and to those who don't really get how big of a deal this is, just look into Torna itself. Torna is massive, and I think this story DLC for 3 is going to be equally, if not more, massive than Torna. It's going to be its own game, and it's going to really hit home how great and how epic and how awesomely amazing Xenoblade Chronicles is. So yeah, what do you guys think about this DLC story? I just found it weird that after so many Nintendo Direct discussions that I was listening to, I didn't really hear too many people talk about Xenoblade 3, and even if they did, it was just like a offhanded remark, hey, Xenoblade 3 looks cool, I saw Shulk, does that guy look like Rex? And then it was it, then they kind of moved on. And it's fine, people have their preferences and whatnot, but I was just interested to see why people aren't as impressed with what this is going to be. Because just from that 15 seconds of trailer footage, I was sold, and I was very excited for what Microsoft is going to provide us. So yeah, let me know in the comments below if you were excited and what you were excited for with this Wave 4 DLC story expansion. And remember, subscribe, hit the like button if you enjoyed this, and stick around for more Xenoblade and Nintendo content on the way. This is Nishquick signing off. Have a great day, and go play some great games today, like Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I'll see you in the next one.